You might remember back in January, I created this full range Schmincke palette with space for all the colors, and I have most of the colors is what I would call this. I have 76 different colors already, so I'm going to swatch these for you today, as a lot of you have asked for a swatching video of these colors. I've been wanting to carry out my own light fastness test of some of the major brands like Daniel Smith, Schmincke, Holbein and Sennelier. So I created these swatching sheets, and what I'm going to do is cover each square with different colors and then cut each strip in half and put one half by a window for 6 months, and then keep the other half in a dark drawer that I don't usually open between the pages of a magazine, so maximum shutting out of light. And so that's what we're going to create today with the colors I own from the Schmincke range. The reason why I'm not swatching from their dot card, which obviously would be a full range swatching, is because I tend to find that there's just isn't enough paint on those dot cards to give me a really good representation of what those colors look like. I've swatched out Schmincke colors from their dot cards before onto color swatches for my color swatch folder, which I will link a video about that up here, and they were all really pale, and I know Schmincke colors aren't really pale, so I really want to do swatching with just paint that are like real paint from a palette, plenty of pigments, so that the colors don't look washed out this time. So let's get started with the painting. As is the standard on swatching videos on YouTube, this is just going to be a nice and relaxed video with me talking about different colors and what I think of them and talking about the pigment. So sit back, relax with a nice hot drink, and let's get started. So we start with lemon yellow. I'm just wetting the color. And this is made with PY3. What I'm going to be doing is give the mass tone of each color rather than do some fading out, washing it out kind of thing, because I want the full saturation of the color for the light fastness test. I just moved the camera angle for a better view. So this is PY3, that's the Aralide Yellow 10G, quite often used in Hansa Yellow Light. Next up we have the Chrome Yellow Lemon Hue, and that is PY175. And PY175 is benzimidazoline yellow, that's H6G, which is often used in benzimidazoline yellows. Then we have vanadium yellow. This is a color I'm really excited to try because I've basically never heard of vanadium yellow. It's made out of PY184, and what I'm going to do is go over the text so you can see the transparency of each color as well. That is PY184, that is bismuth vanadate. I just think vanadate and vanadium is such a cool name. What I will do is go over these two as well so you can see the transparency of them. Lemon yellows tend to be pretty transparent. And then let's do the chrome yellow. This is a hue. All their chrome yellows are hue colors. There we go. And then we move on to pure yellow. I wonder if pure yellow is their way of saying primary yellow. Pure yellow is made out of PY154, which is benzimidazoline yellow, but this time it's H3G rather than the H6G, and it's a lot warmer yellow than the H6G. Next up is Aurelian hue. It's nice to see a Aurelian that is a hue, and if you don't know what I'm talking about in terms of never use the genuine Aurelian, I have a video for that which I will put up here for you. But yeah, you don't want to use a genuine Aurelian because they will turn grey on you. It's fine if a colour fades, but if it changes colour to a grey, that's not good, is it? And I talk all about that, and I also test this colour along with lots of other Aurelian hues to see which one is the best. So this is made out of Aurelian hue PY151, which is I cannot say that word. Benzimidazolone. It's also partly because of my braces, it's getting in my way. Benzimidazolone yellow, and this one doesn't have a particular number after it. Next up is Chrome Yellow Light Hue. It's a very warm yellow, this one. And that's made of PY153. That's the nickel dioxazine yellow. And PY155, which is benzimidazolone yellow. And this time it's 155. It's a very warm yellow. Very, very bright colour as well. Next up we have, sorry, hold on, I just need to shift things around here. Queen Gold, and that is a mixture of PY150 and PR101. PY150 is nickel azomethine yellow. That's basically your nickel azo yellow. And PY101 is synthetic red iron oxide. It's a very bright version of Queen Gold. And I think next week for the Colossal Color Showdown, I'll be doing Queen Gold, I think. Pretty sure it's Queen Gold next week, and I do feature this color in there as well. And then finally for this row we have Chrome Yellow Deep Hue. We're definitely getting into the orangey territory now of the colors. Chrome Yellow Deep Hue is made out of PY65, and that is Hansa Yellow 65. It has a more opaque feel to the color than, say, all the chromes and the Aurelian hue colors. Then we move on to a new row. First we have Indian Yellow. It's made out of PY110 and PY150. PY110 is ice. Oh, I don't know why I decided to say all the chemical names of these pigments because I'm really bad at them. Isoindolene yellow, and the PY154 is benzimidazolone yellow H3G, which we had before, didn't we? So I do apologize for all the pronunciations, especially to the chemists. And sorry, power low. You're not gonna like my pronunciations. This is more of a transparent orange than the Chrome Yellow Deep Hue that we just had. Then we have Yellow Orange by Schmincke. I don't know why I keep saying Schmincke. They're all made by Schmincke. That's again PY110. That's the isoindolene yellow or isoindolene yellow, however you want to pronounce that. Very transparent, very nice actually. I think I like this orange better than that if I have to pick orange, but as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of oranges in my life. Then we have Chrome Orange Hue. This is PO62, and PO62 is benzimidazolone yellow H5G instead of the 3 and 6G. Yeah, I think I still like this one better. And we say goodbye to the first palette. And say hello to the red, orange and red. We have satin red, and this colour does re-wet really easily. Oh, hang on, we need to move along. There we are. This is PO64, which is the benzimidazolone, that benzimidazolone word. It's benzimidazolone orange. There we go. They're all pretty clear colours. That's partly on purpose in that I prefer transparent colours. But Schmincke's do tend to be more transparent, I think. Permanent red orange. It's really nice to see these because this is really the first time I get to see what Schmincke colours really look like en masse as a brand. Next one is permanent red orange. And this is made with PO64, which is, no, 62. What am I saying? Permanent red orange, yeah? Permanent red orange, yes. Let's give you the right data. PO62, which is again benzimidazolone yellow H5G. And then PR242, which is diazo condensation scarlet, which is an awesome name, if you ask me. We're definitely going into the vermilion and scarlety kind of colours here. Then we have permanent red, which is made out of PR242 and PO62. PR242 is again diazo condensation scarlet. And then PO62 is benzimidazolone. You think after saying it this many times I can do it. It's benzimidazolone yellow H5G. So basically these two have the same pigment. They're just swapped around in amounts. That's assuming that they list pigments like you list ingredients, in that you put the one with the greatest amount first on the list. Between these two, I prefer this. It's definitely more red because of the PR242 being the first pigment on the list. Then we have geranium, and I love this color already from the pan. But I also love the name, geranium. PR242 is diazo condensation scarlet again, so this time it's on its own. We had, if we scroll back here, we had mostly orange with that dash of the diazo scarlet, and then we had mostly scarlet with orange, and now we have pure scarlet on its own. It's a lovely, lovely, vibrant red colour. I love it. I will, before I chop these up, I will scan these sheets into a high-res scanner and then put them up on my Patreon over on patreon.com/Oto Kano, so you can check out how the colours compare to each other. Vermilion Light is PR188, and that is Naphthol AS Scarlet. It's almost, no, sorry. I have to check the colours without my sunglasses because I'm very sensitive to bright light, and obviously I have to have a bright light setup for filming stuff like this. And so when I think of the colour, looks like something, through my sunglasses, this looks like Quinacridone Coral by Daniel Smith, but actually when I look without the sunglasses, it doesn't look like that at all. It's also why I don't tend to do a lot of painting videos, because it's very hard for me to paint under the filming lights, because I would have to have my sunglasses off for that, and then I'll just get a migraine. Scarlet Red next. So if you've been wondering why I don't do many paintings, it's because I can't paint under bright light. And if you're wondering how can I judge colours while I have sunglasses on for the Colossal Colour Showdown, well, that's why there's lots of notes on those test sheets, because I will look at them in daylight, in normal light, and decide what I feel about them, what I think about them, and then I can make a video based on that note with my sunglasses on. This, I'm just going to take my sunglasses off, is a beautiful, beautiful scarlet red. It's stunning colour. It's, I would say it's medium colour in terms of the temperature, slightly on the cool side, but this is beautiful scarlet red. It's PR254, and that is Diketopyrrolopyrrole red, which not surprisingly gets used for pyro reds. It's beautiful colour, really, really stunning. I might have to add this colour to my palette. It went on gorgeous as well. Next up is cadmium red middle rather than card red middle, obviously, and that is made out of PR108, which is cadmium sulfoselenide. Yeah. This is why I didn't do very well in chemistry. I'm not very good at these names. I did do chemistry at school. I got GCSE in chemistry. Was not my favourite subject. I only took it because I had to take physics. I wanted to take physics, and to take a single science subject like physics, chemistry and biology, you had to take 2. And I've never had a lesson in biology, so it was like, okay, I'll have to take chemistry. Anyway, Queen Red Light next, PR207, which is quinacridone scarlet. I think these light versions of Quins and the Vermilion Light earlier would be wonderful for people who finds these bright, intense colours a little bit too much, but you want the vibrancy. It's really, really nice. And my camera just freaked out. I really hope it filmed everything. If it hasn't, I'm very sorry. We're at the Queen Red now. And I was saying how the Queen Red Light is ideal for somebody who's a little bit scared of quins, but want the vibrancy, because you're not going to get too strong a colour. You're not going to get the really, really unnatural colour that the quins are famous for. But it's lovely, lovely, clear, transparent colours. Trans Red Deep next, and that's PR144, and that is the Azo Condensation Red. So it's an azo colour. Let's move along a bit. Ooh. Taking sunglasses off. That is a nice, deep, cool red. If you're looking for a nice, transparent, cool red, that's really nice. And while I had my sunglasses off, this is quite similar to the Quinacridone Coral by Daniel Smith, which I use a lot in my paintings. Let's go there. Perylene Maroon next, and that is PR179, which is Perylene Maroon. Surprise, surprise. Ooh, that is a nice, nice deep red. And then Perylene Dark Red, which on the pan, it's lighter than the Perylene Maroon. This is Perylene Dark Red, this is Perylene Maroon. So we'll see. Yeah, the Perylene Maroon is definitely a deeper, dark color than the Perylene Dark Red. This is made out of PR178, which is Perylene Red. So for a red, it's pretty dark, but I would say that Transparent Red Deep is darker. And then we move on to Alizarin Crimson. Where are you on my palette? Oh, there we are. And that is made out of PR83:1. And that is Synthetic Alizarin Lake. Very transparent color. This is like fresh cherry juice red. Not the cherry juice that you get in a bottle, but it's the juice that drips off a freshly bitten cherry. It's really nice. Ruby Red Deep. I'm excited about Ruby Red Deep just from the name. Ooh, like lipstick red. It's exactly what I imagined it will be. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous, cool red. I think if you want the mid red, you go for the Scarlet Red. That's the first color on this row. But if you want to go for a cool red that is like deep, then go for Ruby Red Deep. It's gorgeous. Let's move on to a new line. Just gonna rearrange things around here because I realized it's not gonna work out. Okay, we're good. We're good. We got Madder Red Dark next. And that is the last color on this palette. And that is PV19 with PR179. PV19 being the gamma quinacridone that gets used for loads of quinacridone pink, rosy kind of colors. And PR179 being the Peridine Maroon that we had for the Peridine Maroon. So it's like Peridine Maroon with a little bit of pink added to it. And therefore should be very light fast. So we say goodbye to palette 2. Bye bye. And we go to palette 3, which is the cool reds, violets, and dark blues. And can I just say, of all the... I can't open this palette, hold on. Oh, there we go. Of all the colours, the Schmincke colours set up really well in palettes, except for the Rose Madder. Look what it's done to the other side. It's like... That's the only colour that it's done. It's the only one that kind of slid off its palette cell. Well, there you go. I just realised I have my drinking water right next to my water, which I never do. But of course, when I'm filming, I will, and I probably will end up dipping the water, the brush into the water if I don't move it. I then have Bordeaux, which is PR187, 187 being a permanent pink. Okay, that's really interesting. It's definitely different from the Bordeaux by Daniel Smith, which is a colour I really like. It's a nice red, but I wouldn't say it's like a Bordeaux wine colour. It's too red for it to be a Bordeaux as far as in comparison to the Daniel Smith one. The Daniel Smith one is a lot more deeper violet colour, whereas this is very red. Maybe it will change colour as it dries. We'll see in the scans. Then we have the Troublesome Rose Madder, which is PR83:1 with PR48:4. PR83:1 is Synthetic Alizarin Lake, and then PR48:4 is Permanent Red 2B. Ooh! And that is a lovely, lovely colour. It's very soft. It's really nice. And I assume from... No, if it's Synthetic Alizarin Lake, I would have to double check, but that is probably not light fast. But it's a lovely colour However, I have seen genuine rose madder on its own, and that's a really nice color. And I don't know if this is a nicer color than that. So yeah. Then we have permanent carmine. Love the carmines. I love reds, not surprisingly, that are more on the cooler side, the deep red darks, rather than the orangey reds. I don't know why I don't like reds. Oranges. I do like reds, I don't like oranges. It's not that I have anything against oranges, but if I have the choice, I would really go for the darker reds than the oranger reds. And that's PV19, that would be the Gamma quinacodones. Then we have ruby red. I love the naming of some colors. We have like the geranium and ruby red deep. Here we are. And that's PV19. It's completely different pigment from the ruby red deep, which was PR264. Yeah, it's a nice red. It is, but I love the ruby red deep more. Then we have magenta, which is PV42. That's quinacridone violet. There we go. It's definitely got more of a violet tinge to the color. It's nice though. And then we have purple magenta next. Purple magenta, where are you on the palette? There we are. And that is PR122. And that is the quinacridone magenta. So we have quinacridone violet in the magenta color and quinacridone magenta in the purple magenta, which is not confusing at all. This is like a really nice deep pinkish purplish color, whereas the magenta is definitely a lighter hue. I would group the magenta in with like the cream red light and rose madder, those really lighter hue of paints. And then we have queen magenta, which doesn't use PR122, it uses PR202, which is PR202 is quinacridone crimson. So interesting in their namings. And I just featured this color in a Queen Magenta Colossal Color Showdown, which I will link up here for you to compare it with other brands. Right, that's that row done. We're moving on to Queen Violet. What's the likelihood that it's not actually a Queen Violet? Oh, it's a PV19, so it's a Gamma quinacridone. So this is Queen Violet, and that's definitely a nice Queen Violet. It's what I would expect from a Queen Violet. It's amazing how just PV19 comes in such a wide array of colors, because we have the Queen Violet here, which is PV19, all the way to the Permanent Carmine, which is a lot more red, and we get a lot of Queen Magentas and Queen Roses from the same pigments in other brands as well. Then we have Perylene Violet, PV29, which is Dioxazine Violet. Ooh, birds are singing. Can you hear the birds singing? That is a really nice chestnutty mahogany violet. Really, really nice. Then we have Queen Purple, which is PV55, and that is quinacridone purple. We actually have a name that matches the pigment name. Yay! That is a nice purple. It's a reddish purple rather than a bluish purple. I shouldn't keep taking my sunglasses off. It's the bright light's already hurting my eyes. Manganese violet next. PV16, which is manganese ammonium hold on. Magnesium ammonium pyrophosphate. Ooh. That's nice. I think I've said that on all the colours though. That should granulate nicely. Then Schmincke violet next, which is PV23, which is again dioxazine violet. And this is a much bluer, cooler violet. Then we have Ultramarine Violet by Schmincke. This is the Ultramarine Violet that I recommend on every palette because it's a little bit bluer than other brands, which is perfect for neutralizing a warm yellow. So I've had this color on my palette ever since I studied color theory, and I won't change it to another brand. This is definitely a color that, yeah, I'm going to stick with Schmincke. There are other brands that do bluish ultramarine violet as well, but I just, Schmincke is the easiest one for me to find. Let me see if I have the list of the ultramarine blue violets that are good for the, you know, the A bracket well on my color wheel palette. You can use Schmincke's, I think M. Graham, Block and Richardson all produce bluish ultramarine violet, which is perfect for use in your color wheel palette. And if you don't know what I'm talking about about the color wheel palette, I will put a link up here if I have enough links, because you can only link up to 5 per video, and I think we've got quite a few links already. But yeah, that is the perfect color for me. Now we go into the blues. And we have Delft Blue. Lovely, lovely colour. I've actually been to Delft and seen their ceramic factory and stuff. Ooh, probably shouldn't have painted over that. Probably not going to see what on earth that colour was now. Oh no, you can tell. That's good. So Delft Blue is PB60, and that is Indanthrone Blue. Then we have Indigo, which is PB15:1 with PB66. PB15:1 being Phthalocyanine Blue red shade, with the PB66, which is Indigo. I'm going to stop going over the color names just because we're not going to be able to read what color it is with these really dark blues. So it's with indigo, but with a little bit more kick to it by having that phthalo blue. Then we go to dark blue indigo, which is PV60, which is Indanthrone Blue. Wonder why they avoided very hard to have a color name called Indanthrone. Lovely dark blue again. But definitely the lightest of the 3 dark blues we've tried so far. And then we have Phthalo Sapphire Blue, which is PB15:6, which is Phthalocyanine Blue. That it tends to be used for red shade, but can be used for... It's a tend to rather than it's definitely a red shade. But from looking at this, it's definitely a red shade. Then we have Cobalt Blue Deep, and that's the last color on this palette. And I can see that the pigment has split from the binder a little bit, but that's kind of be expected from cobalt blues. PB74, which is cobalt zinc silicate blue. It's a very good sky blue with a nice granulation, if that's what you're looking for your sky. And then we move along and we say goodbye to palette 3. Bye palette 3. And we move on to palette 4, the blues and warm greens. We have the French ultramarine first, PB29. That will be ultramarine blue. Don't even need to look at the... Did I mean to go over it? Never mind. Then ultramarine finest. And if you are looking to buy ultramarine from Schmincke, the ultramarine finest is the one I would recommend. I like it the best out of the 3. Don't go for the ultramarine blue because that has PB15 in it, which I don't really understand why they decided to put PB15, which is phthalo blue, in it. I think I need a bit more water to that. But I personally like this color the best. And then we have ultramarine blue. Which looks like this. It is a more intense blue, but it's not a genuine ultramarine blue intensity of the blue. It's intense only because it has PV15 in it, and to my mind, I get really picky about ultramarine blues. It's the one color I do get picky about. I would say that it's not, it doesn't have that warmth, the depth that the ultramarines have on their own. It's like putting an artificial blue into it. So I don't personally agree with adding a phthalo blue to it. I mean, it's everyone to their choice, and Schmincke can do whatever they like to it. But if you ask me what color should I go for, then I would go for ultramarine finest. However, you can start to see that the French ultramarine granulates more than the ultramarine finest. There's lots of theories about what the difference between French ultramarine and ultramarine finest or ultramarine is, and people go, one's got bigger particles than the other. I tend to find that that really depends on the brand, and so you have to go case by case. And in this case, I would say that Schmincke's French ultramarine is more granulating than the ultramarine finest. Then lovely, I've just spotted this lovely granulation happening on the cobalt blue deep as well. Right, mountain blue. Mountain blue, it is PW5, PB29 and PG7. PW5 being lithopone. It's got to be lithopone, right? With ultramarine blue and phthalocyanine green blue shade. Never heard of lithopone until I was prepping for this video. So if anyone has any info on lithopone, do let us know. That'd be really interesting. So it's like a powder blue that will probably granulate because of the ultramarine blue. We'll see in a minute. And the last color on this sheet is Prussian blue, PB27, which is obviously Prussian blue. That is a lot lighter than I was expecting. Hold on. Let's see if I can get more color. No, it's just a really light Prussian blue. Okay, I'll go with that. That is surprisingly light version of Prussian blue. How interesting. Maybe we can do a colossal color showdown with Prussian blues next time, just to compare this with other brands. So that's the first sheet done. I'm going to put this in a safe place. For some bizarre reason, I decided to go downwards rather than across. Wasn't really thinking it through, so I do apologize for that. Right, Paris Blue next, which is got a lot of pigments. PV15, PV15:1 and PV27. The PV15s are the Sailor Blue red shades, and then the PV27 is the Prussian Blue. So this is like the depth you expect, or the color intensity you expect from a Prussian blue, but a lot brighter blue because of the two phthalo pigments. Then we have phthalo blue, which is the standard PB15:1. It's the red shade. What? I'm just gonna... Okay, yeah. It's a very close to yellow shade, red shade, I would say. I personally expect a bit more red in it than this for a red shade, but okay. And then we're going to move up to Cerulean, which is PB15:3, which is Cyanide Blue green shade. So I don't know why they put cerulean in it. Yeah, you see, there's not much difference. I'm going to scroll back a bit. Not a huge difference between these two colors, and with most brands you can expect a bigger difference between the red shade and green shade of Sailor Blue than this. Yeah, these are really similar colors. Right, Helio Turquoise. It's PB16, which is Cyanide Turquoise, which we compared with. If I haven't run out of these little title things, then I'll put a link to for when I compared the turquoises. Normally phthalo turquoises come in two kinds. One is a blend of two pigments and the other is just the PB16 on its own, and this one is on its own. Then we have Cobalt Turquoise. It's PG50, which is Cobalt Titanate Green. And I will be doing, I just filmed the Colossal Color Showdown episode for Cobalt Turquoises and Teals. Lovely, lovely color. Opaque. There we go. Just gonna swap it over the water to a cleaner one. Then we have Prussian Green. Let's hope this one's darker than the Prussian Blue. Prussian Green is PG7 and PB60. PG7 being the Cyanide Green blue shade, and PB16 being Indanthrone Blue. So we can expect a good amount of color here. Oh yeah, that's more like it. That's the kind of Prussian colors I'm expecting. Ooh, this is nice. Yeah, this is a lot better than their Prussian Blue. I do not recommend their Prussian Blue, but I can recommend their Prussian Green. It's very nice. It's like a lot darker version of the Sailor Turquoise or the Helio Turquoise. Right, back to the top. Phthalo Green, which is of course PG7, and again I'm seeing some binder splitting from the pigment. PG7 is just your standard Phthalo Green blue shade. Yeah, it's fine. Phthalo Greens are never my favorite. I don't have... There's a video of me adapting the Phthalo Green on my Color Wheel palette for a Hooker's Green. Phthalo Green to me is like in a similar basket as yellow oranges. It's not a color I'm personally going to be using. That's the last color on the 4th palette. So we'll move on to the 5th one, which is Yellow Greens and Ochres. Permanent Green Olive. Let's put that in the middle of the screen. It's P062 with PG7. P062 being the benzimidazolone yellow 5H5G. Oh, I was so close! I was so close to saying that word. With PG7, which is obviously your phthalocyanine green red shade. So it's this with a little bit of orange added to it, which is good to know if you are looking to mix your own green, like olivey kind of green. Try mixing your phthalo greenish color with orange. Then we have sap green, which is PY153 with PG7. They love their PG7. Like, they use it a lot. PY153 is nickel dioxazine yellow, with PG7 obviously being the phthalo green blue shade. Yep, that's a standard looking sap green. Do I have an episode of sap green coming up? I think there might be a sap green episode of the Colossal Color Showdown this season. Don't quote me on it though. Then we have May green, which is PY151 with PG7. If you are looking for a yellowish green and you want it as transparent as possible, I recommend May green over other colors from other brands. I've tested them, and May green, although it's not perfectly transparent, it's the most transparent I've found. The Holbein one and Daniel Smith one, they both, and I think I did Winsor Newton. I've tried a few brands and this is the most transparent. PY175 being, no, 15, is it a 1 or a 7? That's a 1, that's a 1. PY151 is benzimidazolone yellow, and then PG7 is phthalocyanine green blue shade. It's a nice bright green. And then we have Cobalt Green Pure. This may take some time. Cobalts usually tend to take more elbow grease. Oh no, not this one. This one is re-wetting really nice actually. Lovely opaque color. Is PG19, which is Cobalt Green Pale. And then we have Hooker's Green by Schmincke. It's PB15:3, which is phthalocyanine blue, and PG7 phthalocyanine green, red shade, with PY42, which is yellow iron oxide. I'd love to do a Hooker's Green episode in the next series. So this Hooker's Green, I usually use the Holbein one. This is a lot more opaque than the Holbein's Hooker's Green. It would be really interesting to compare this in with the other brands. Right, back to the top again. I really hope you're not getting motion sick. Olive Green is PB15, which is phthalocyanine blue, with PG8, which is, where are we? Nitroso green. Ooh, that's a very inky dark olive green. That's a nice rich dark green. Then we have Chrome Oxide Green, which is PG17. Nice opaque color. It's chrome, PG17 is Chrome Oxide Green. Then we move down a bit. Olive green yellowish. I think, as the word says, it's a little bit more yellow. It has PO62, which is the color they had in here for the permanent green olive. And that is the benzimidazolone yellow H5G. Yes, I said it. Woo! And then we have PG36, which is phthalocyanide green yellow shade. So this is phthalo green with the PO62, and then this is the PO62 with the phthalo green yellow shade. Then we have transparent green gold, PY154 with PBR7. That is PY154 is benzimidazolone yellow H3G. I fudged that a little bit. PBR7 is brown iron oxide. It's a lovely bright transparent green gold. Then we have Naples yellow, which is PW6, that's titanium dioxide, PY53, nickel titanium oxide, and PBR24, which is chrome antimony titanate, which the name sounds pretty scary. Wasn't antimony poison? Who knows? A chemist will let us know if this is safe or not. Or just like antimony, that like didn't Victorians kill each other with antimony or something? And then titanium gold ochre, which has PBR24, which is a chromium antimony titanate again. So this is the color of the PBR24 on its own. Out of the Naples yellow. It's very, very opaque. Not sure if we're going to see the writing. Just 2 more columns to go. We have yellow ochre, and we did a yellow ochre video as well, and I'm pretty sure we had run out of links to put on, so it'll be there if I do, but I doubt it. But you can find it on the Colossal Color Showdown. We just had yellow ochre. No, we didn't just have yellow ochre. I think it was like episode 5 and 6. Or 4 and 5. This yellow ochre is very opaque. One great thing with Schmincke paints, I find, is that I find the paints go on really well onto paper. The act of painting, they all go down smooth, whereas other brands that I compared in the Colossal Color Showdown have been quite a struggle to get a nice even look. So that's palette 5 done. Only 2 more palettes to go, and these are more sparse because I haven't bought that many more neutral, natural colors because I don't use them that much. Right, we're going to skip that one. That was a mistake that I made. That was a double thing. I don't really tend to use like the browns and the ochres and stuff. So I don't have many of them. This one is transparent ochre, PY42. That's yellow iron oxide. And that is a lovely, lovely transparent ochre. Might need a little bit more pigment though. Hold on. That is really nice and transparent. So I can definitely see why people like Schmincke paints a lot, because they are a joy to put down on paper. And I do find that that's really important in your painting experience, is that the act of you putting down the paint on paper should be pleasurable. It shouldn't be a fight. Then we have transparent sienna, PR101. That would be an iron oxide. Yes, synthetic red iron oxide. And with the natural colors, I have more of the transparent versions from Schmincke than the more opaque ones, just because I prefer transparent colors myself. Hello, little birds. Are you singing away? I have, for some reason, the birds in the neighborhood has decided they want to hang out on my window railing in my bedroom at the moment, and it's quite nice. Transparent brown next, PBR 41. That is diazo condensation brown. So it should be a nice bright brown, yeah. Anything that's diazo based is going to be bright and very transparent. Then we have transparent umber. That is made out of PR 101 again, synthetic red iron oxide. PR 101 is another one of those pigments that is very versatile and comes in a wide range of colors. And then we go back up, last column, Van Dyke Brown. That's the last color on this palette. It's PY150 with PBR7 and PBK7. PY150 being a nickel azomethane yellow, PBR7 is brown iron oxide, and PBK7 is lamp black. And I'm not going to go over the writing. Yeah, that is a very oldie, inky brown colour. Definitely Van Dyke kind of colour. Then we have Payne's Grey Bluish. Oh, we need to move on to another palette. And I'm sorry that I didn't include this in the Colossal Colour Showdown. I just had to stick with the name because Colossal Colour Showdowns are based on colour names rather than what's the best option for that brand. And that was because I wanted beginners to know and see for themselves that just going by their colour names isn't necessarily a good option because of weird naming conventions like the Payne's Grey and Payne's Grey Bluish thing that happens with Schmincke. This is obviously the Payne's Grey you should go for if you're going for Schmincke. Don't go for the Schmincke Payne's Grey. Think of Schmincke's Payne's Grey as a neutral tint. This is the Payne's Grey-ish colour. But interestingly, it's the other way around with the Daniel Smith's one. Daniel Smith's one you'll see later on. The Payne's Grey, standard Payne's Grey, is the Payne's Grey that you think of, and then Payne's Grey Bluish is a bluer version. It's a really nice bluer version, but it's a little bit too blue as a Payne's Grey. So I agree with Daniel Smith's naming convention rather than Schmincke's one. Next one is Peridine Green. Oh, I didn't talk about the pigments for Payne's Grey Bluish. Let's do that first. It has PBK6, which is Sungite, which is a name I've not heard of before, and PB15:6, which is phthalocyanine blue. Right, Peridine Green next. It's PBK31, which is Paleogen Black. Really nice Peridine Green. Goes really well with the Payne's Grey Bluish as well. Then we have Schmincke's Payne's Grey, which, as I said, works more like a neutral tint, even though they do also have neutral tint and neutral grey in their range. So this one is PR101, which is synthetic red iron oxide, PB29, which is ultramarine, and then PBK7, which is lamp black. So it's red, blue and black. And as you can see, it's a very neutralized grey. It's a nice grey, it's a good grey, it's just not Payne's Grey, because Payne's Grey is bluish grey. And then finally, for this video, we have the Bright Opera Rose. We will be having an opera episode in this season. I'm very, very excited about that episode. I'm so looking forward to filming that and just painting it and seeing what happens. This one is PR122, which is the quinacridone magenta with a fluorescent pigment. Ooh, nice and bright. It's so nice to see some bright colours again. That is a really nice opera. And it's definitely an opera rose rather than opera like on its own, because I think opera tend to be slightly bluer, whereas this is a little bit warmer pink. It's very, very lovely. So that is it for Schmincke colours. We have 76 colours that we swatched. What I will do is prepare these for light fastness test, and then in 6 months time I will report back on how well these colours fared up to 6 months of sun. I will also be scanning these sheets before I cut them up for the light fastness test, so that you can have a good colour reference as to how each colour compares with the other colours in the brand. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, then please do give it a thumbs up. Do let me know in the comments down below which was your favourite colour. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!